Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. In the last part, we got here to Spiderweb Island, and now we're gonna head back to that old man and his petrified wife, because we got the Petrify Spell last part. You found something. Could it be? You found it! The spell that turned my beloved to stone. At long last I can reverse its effects. Hush, my beloved, lest I speak the sacred words. Ahem. Petrify! Whoopsies. Well, that happened, but you may have heard that special tone that played. That's because we've unlocked a dungeon. Welcome to the Spittle Maze, the first dungeon in the game. That tune that plays, I forget what it's called, but whenever that plays, you're more or less entering a dungeon or a mini-dungeon of some sort. And the Spittle Maze, similar to Shantae 1 and Risky's Revenge, is kind of the water dungeon. Without any water in it, though. First off, though, I have to say, I love the dungeon music in this game. This is probably my second favorite one. We'll get to the favorite one probably around part 8 or 9. But good lord, there's such... The music in this game is overall fantastic. Either way, the Spittle Maze is easily the, well, easiest dungeon in the game, as you might suspect. In fact, they throw the first heart squid right at us, and to get it, you just walk through the wall. Whenever you look on the world map at the totals a world has in terms of cacklebats or heart squids, that counts the dungeon. Though I don't think there's ever a cacklebat in a dungeon, so don't have to worry about that. The only thing that's in there is heart squids. And dungeon maps. We got the Spittle Maze map. As you might suspect, if you look at the map screen that was on the select menu, you can now see the map. As you can see, the Spittle Maze is not a very big place. In fact, none of the dungeons in this game are outright huge. In fact, I think we finished every single one in one part, but yeah. Next heart squid's right there. You can get that just by running over the edge. When I first played the game, I thought I had to get a later ability to get that, but no, you can just fall right off. And here's where we get the proper introduction of these switches. The way they work is that if you hit them, their eyes open up, and then that's when they're activated. You can also deactivate them just by hitting them. And oh my god, the crab guys from Shantae 1 are back. Yeah, you might remember these guys from the first dungeon in Shantae 1. Pike balls are still pretty effective against them, though they're not instant kill like they were more or less in the first game. And like in Risky's Revenge in the first game, there are keys hidden all over the place that you need to open the door, though there are no dedicated boss keys. And like in Shantae 1 and more so Risky's Revenge, I will be doing small jump cuts every here and there just to save time, because there are some backtracks that you don't need to really see. Keys work on Zelda logic, though, as you might be able to figure out. You can use them on any door you want, but you can only use them once. After that, they disappear or break or whatever. I don't know how they break a key that easily unless it's made out of like butter, but I'll take it. And the biggest thing about dungeons, though, is the fact that they are your best source of gems in the game. You'll usually get over a 50 of 60 in there. By the way, there's the heart squid number 3. I think that's actually the last heart squid on the island we can get for now. There's only one other area I can think of in the game that's not a dungeon that is good for getting gems, and we'll see that eventually. Either way, we can't do anything in this room for right now, so we want to just head right into this little area. That is a fake platform, so don't jump on that. But you do want to keep that thing untriggered because it makes this platform move. These dungeons do require some amount of thinking at times for certain little puzzles, but there's no real hard puzzles in the game. Which is kind of odd, because thinking about it now, the series kind of has less puzzles the more you go on. The first game had the most. I mean, the one I immediately think of is the Color Dungeon. And the Swamp Dungeon for some reason. And Risky's Revenge, in terms of puzzles that had dungeons that had puzzles, only really had the entirety of the Hypno Baron's Labyrinth. This game doesn't have any real standout puzzles. Is that a gun? We've obtained Risky's pistol! Press the shoot button to shoot enemies and switches. In case you're wondering what the shoot button is, it's usually the button located on the right out of the big 4. I'm not sure what it is on keyboard, though. So now we actually have a long-range weapon that allows us to shoot switches and enemies. Though, I wouldn't really recommend it for enemies, because it only does like 1 damage, and it has a pretty crud fire rate, honestly. There are much better ways to attack enemies, like, you know, your hair, so I wouldn't recommend it. But still, Risky's pistol, wonder what's doing... Okay, that was stupid of me. Wonder what's doing it here, of all places. We should probably give it back to her when we next see her. Though, nice little detail I like. If you actually look carefully when you use the pistol, For a split second, like a few frames, Shantae's sprite actually switches to that pirate outfit she showed to Risky at the, towards the middle-ish of the last part. And I kind of wish that was a costume change we can get into, but I'll get into that a bit more in a part or two when I have a better grounds to explain it. By the way, this room's actually similar to something I think that was in both Risky's Revenge and the original, where you can take a couple shortcuts. But either way, the biggest thing about the gun, as you might be able to figure out, is that it has long-range capabilities. Because of such, we can shoot through the little holes in the walls like that in order to hit switches. And you might remember we saw one of those back in the Scuttle Town, or Scuttle Palace sewer. So we should probably head back there eventually. Either way, the dungeon is actually really short once you get the gun. It's mostly over by the time you have that because you've gotten more or less everything else at that point. And that's going to be a thing these dungeons are like for the most part too. So, Spittle Maze, not very hard. On the whole, this dungeon isn't really that hard, as you've noticed. The one thing I don't really like about it, though, is its color palette, actually. Because its color palette, I think we've seen in every Shantae game. Because the first two both use that black innards with blue outlines kind of look for a lot of the cave areas and dungeon areas. And this is kind of the exact same thing. Thankfully, we're going to get better at that as we go. But for the most part, I don't really like that. Also, I hate this fight against two of these things, because first off, pike balls are hard to find at this point. You can buy them pretty easily, but finding them from enemy drops is kind of rare. Unless you've, like, farmed a ton from the soldiers at the beginning of the game. So, this can be kind of a hard area to get through. In fact, as you notice, I'm getting my ass kicked. This happens almost every single playthrough. That's not a certain mode that you can unlock. And as you may have noticed there, we are very close to the end of the dungeon. I think there's only a total of 3 rooms left. But yeah, this place, not very hard. Though I do like the throwbacks that it has. I do wish the pistol had a bit more combat versatility, but it's just not very good. There are upgrades to it that we can buy at the shop, but they're not that good either way. They do increase the shot size, though, as well, so I guess it's more useful for hitting things at a distance, I suppose. Oh, yeah, you probably noticed me doing it all the time now, but a secondary function of the lamp when you press the button that it's the map to is that it'll suck any items you can collect into you, be it gems or food. Not dropped items, though, for some reason. And with that, we're at the boss. Cyclops plant frighteningly fixated Flora. I love the boss subtitles. This is a very easy boss. The way it goes is that the main eye fires lasers out of you while you have to shoot the ice on the walls to make one of the platforms raise, in which case you can attack it from one of the platforms. You could jump over and hit with your hair whip, but it's actually, you can do more damage by just spamming the gun. Plus, I think if you're playing the Steam version, you actually get trophies for doing that, or achievements. When you do a certain amount of damage, it does mix up the formula slightly. You can also spurt out slimes. Past a certain point, it'll start activating, when you shoot an eye on the wall, it'll start activating the platform on the opposite side. But honestly, it is a very easy boss fight. If you have a bubble shield at this point, because you bought it, I don't think this boss can do anything to you, aside from maybe the laser. If you want to use Monster Milk here, if you have it for some reason, use it, but you won't be able to do much more damage than you could probably with just shooting the pistol. Because Monster Milk, I think, only works with your hair whip, not your items. And it's down. See, very easy boss. Mostly. Phase 2 is a bit different. Now that goes all bullet hell, no, not bullet hell, all brick breaker on us and starts just going and bouncing on the walls at the angles it approaches. Every now and then it will stop and try to fire a laser at you, in which case it will more than likely hit you. But honestly, this phase is honestly a bit easier because you can at least almost always predict where it's going to go if you're looking carefully. And you can also just bounce around in circles where it barely gets a hit on. I've had playthroughs where it's never gotten its laser attack off because it's just bouncing around on the walls too much from my hair. I've done it at least once, I think. But it's really hard to do for some reason for me now. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I haven't touched the game in like a year. Oh god, this game's almost 2 years old. Huh. Time is weird. Tinkerbat's here? Ah. Hey, get back here, you! What's this? He dropped something. We got the Spiderweb Island map. Huh.
Oh, yeah. I did it!
The Pirate Master won't be able to draw power from this place anymore. I'd better go tell Risky. And we shall. But first, on this screen, we can now shoot this, causing us to be able to get the actual last heart squid we can get at this point. I forgot about this one for some reason earlier. And with that, we're done on Saliva Island for a decent chunk of time. We will be coming back here at least 2 times. You certainly took your sweet time. I found something, an evil dungeon and a giant monster and... Where'd you get that pistol? I found it locked up in a chest. Why? Never mind. Anything else? This island map. One of your Tinkerbats dropped it. He hadn't transformed yet. Interesting. That suggests the Pirate Master doesn't have enough dark magic to go around. Which means we still have time to prevent his return. Climb aboard. We're off to the next island. So you might be able to figure out the formula from here. Whenever we beat a den of evil, we get a map to the next island. In this case, Spiderweb. But we're not going there yet, because I have some stuff I want to take care of over in Scuttle Town. First off, I want to make a new heart over from the heart squids we got in Saliva Island, because we got just enough to make a new heart container. Or heart holder, sorry. God, those poor squids. What is with this series' fascination with squids, too? Because that's been around since the first game. It had warp squids and the squid bear and his golden squids and this skin. Oh, hey, soldier. Shantae. Yeah? We have something to discuss with you at the palace. Please follow me. Okay, good, they teleported us. Perhaps you're aware that the Sultana is away on business, as such a formal inquiry about your recent actions is not possible. No? According to some very old and legal guidelines, responsibility falls to the royal librarian, because he apparently once served on the ruling council. For one day! He has deemed it inappropriate to cut winsome long hair, be it by scissors, jigsaw, or goat mouth. You're free to go. Phew. That was close. Oh no, you're not getting off that easily. Why should I hear about you sneaking off to the library? Oh, that, I explicitly told you to stay out of trouble, did I not? Yes, sir. Next time you might not be so lucky. Uncle, I wanted to ask you... Yes? Never mind. Alright, I'll be back in my workshop in case you want to change your mind. I have a rather sensitive project that requires my immediate attention. Okay, then. That happened. So, in the long run, the Ammo Baron's entrance was more or less just a moot plot point to have us come to the castle and get the map, wasn't it? Huh. That actually makes that entire first level kind of purposeless aside from that. Well, hello there. Hello. Hi. I'm Brandon. So stupendously clandestine powers were revealed to me the day I held direct my agenda plate and said, hey guys, you should go get matching purses. No reason they should just be for ladies anymore. Am I right? Hey fellas, don't leave fellas, come back. And with those words, I became Branson, the most capable man in the galaxy. Gosh, that's pretty killer. I know. But the clandestine words only work if I hold direct my blade. And I accidentally left my agenda blade on the bus. It's gotta be that specific blade. Bummer. By now it's probably sealed away in Castle Boneface. Or that, or in a desert. I don't do sand. Gets in the shoes. Wonder what you're parodying. Either way, like I said, we actually have the gun now, so we can check out that thing in the sewers that I showed off towards the end of it. So let's head on over there. It's simple, just stand here, shoot, and grab it. And in here we get... a travel brochure that guy dropped. So let's go give that to him. What? You found my vacation brochure? The one all about traveling? Don't worry, it's as good as new. No backsies. Ha! One down, I'm a master salesman. The boss never said I never get rid of these lousy brochures, but he's never witnessed my drain conviction sales technique. Ha! Dick. Well, Squid Baron was looking to travel, so let's give it to him then. Solid snap, is that a travel brochure? Can I take it? Sure. Wowie zowie! Look at all these snapshots. Sand and surf, free-spirited yet responsible sporty co-ed girls frolicking on the beach. A sweating tennis player drinking from a perspiring glass of water with a slice of lemon. Old men with full heads of wispy pepper gray hair. Matching pantsuits with a proud navy blue sailor stripe. Shirts unbuttoned to the third button. I must find this utopia and purchase a timeshare post-haste.
How can I ever thank you? Oh, I know.
We got the squid oil. Okay. What's this?
It's squid oil. I spun it fresh this morning from my ink siphon.
You!
Whatevs. Later, loser.
Well, that happened, but now that we have the squid oil, we're gonna need that later on. And the game doesn't tell you need it until it tells you when you need it. So I'm just getting it ahead of time. You can do that a lot in this game, actually. You can get a lot of the items you need to progress without having to know you have to get them. Either way, now we're back at the shop because there's some things I want to get here, though it took me a while to decide on it. Because most of the time when you're buying stuff in this game, you can get it more or less in any order you want. If I recall, I go for Silky Cream just to have a higher rate of fire, for lack of a better word for my hair. And I'm also going to buy a Pirate Flare. What the Pirate Flares do is, since I didn't explain them earlier, is that if you use them anywhere on one of the islands aside from in dungeons, you'll get teleported back to the ship. It's more or less a shortcut so you can get back there anytime you want from some of the longer islands. And while I don't think I'm going to use it immediately in this next island, I want to have it for then. By the way, let's check out Mimic's workshop. How you doing, Mimic?
Oh no! What is it, Uncle? My workshop has been ransacked. Who would do such a thing? Doggone it, there goes my experiment.
Oh, yeah, that was Bolo. That was Bolo. Either way, now we're done with the things I wanted to do in Scuttle Town, so we can head over to Spiderweb Island. And this place is a card. Also, gotta say, I love the way this looks right here. That's really nice. This is Spiderweb Island. I want you to look at the next den of evil and report back. Risky, I've been wondering, how do you know so much about the Pirate Master? Because he was my mentor. I sailed under his command for some time as first mate. He taught me everything I know. You were part of his pirate crew? That's right. When the genies finally defeated him, I claimed his men and weapons as my own. You stole his stuff after he died? Call a payment for my services, which were long overdue. That flintlock pistol was once his. Oh, then I guess you should have it back. Hold on to it. You're gonna need it to survive in this place. You're not coming? Trust me, you won't want me for company. Best I stay with the ship. Okie dokie.
I'm ready.
And now welcome to Spiderweb Island. With one of my favorite songs in the game, Rave in the Grave. I love this song so much. It's not my favorite song in the game, especially when it comes to like individual areas. But oh my god, I just love it so much. It's such a catchy tune. Though Jake Kaufman likes to have some fun with his track titles, because this one's obviously a nice little pun, because it's a rave song and it's Zombie Island, so Rave in the Grave. But there's one song in the soundtrack that is in all caps titled, Do You Even Whip? What? By the way, we have to head up there to progress, but I want to check out what's over here first. Oh. Huh, this wagon looks like it's seen better days. Indeed, but with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 4, we'll be checking out the rest of Spiderweb Island and seeing who awaits us here on this little place. See you guys then.